right. Throw them ones in the air because they won. WWE Raw. It's in the books. And fairly good show. Fairly good show. Like, I would say a good 93% of the show was good, entertaining, making me laugh, or I was satisfied, you know, put something to the side, like, the Tegan Knox, Natalya, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark's match. Normally I'm fine with those, but I was like, yeah, it just wasn't. Maybe because after the whole Rock thing, it just ain't hit the hit of like, it was really like, okay, we just waiting for like the main event. Maybe that's what it was, but then the whole Vinci getting like really hurt in the Uso and Kofi versus Imperium match, and boy, I was like, yo, Jay was not feeling Lucy at that point because they like Kofi just sort of like Kofi didn't get mad and Kofi doesn't get angry like so I was like, but you could see on his face that he was like, I feel like he was sort of trying to be the one to be like, yo, Jay, like, I don't know what happened, just chill, more so than anything, because Jay will look at heated. He didn't even do his whole like, he didn't do none of that. He looked pissed. Almost like how Damian Priest was like a couple weeks ago for the Creed brothers. So, but we had Becky Lynch, Nia Jax. It started off slow, but I was like, then it started going. I was like, I was like, Nia was really selling the punch a lot. It's funny enough. I was like, they had a little callback to when she landed on the side apron, and if y'all remember when she was like, my hole, she didn't say that, but she did. She was like, oh, that's not good. But it was the same. It was like beat a beat basically for that. But I will say, I like the outcome of it. I'm glad they went with Nia Jax to win that match, and win it also very convincingly, because I was like, the way that they were sort of building the match did seem like, okay, Becky's gonna win, because it was like, it was slow. It was Becky couldn't get really nothing going. Then Nia started getting things going. Did like a Samoan drop from the second rope. I was like, Becky was over here trying to do the armbar. Then they were just on the outside of the ring where she was just beating her up on the side on the ropes. Becky tried to jump and got kadoosh with the punch, with the uppercut. Whew. If it would have been one of them old school towards her neck, would have all the way up. I was like, don't get me wrong, it was like good spot where like Becky like turned around a power bomb that she was going to do and flipped on her and stuff like that. But I do like that they not only did the punch to end it, Nia Jax won it. She also did her drop. But I was like, the blood was a nice added touch, and it wasn't bad. Like sometimes they do the blood and it's like either too much or it's like too little to where it's like, oh, okay. Like you could tell it wasn't like she bit her lip or something like that. Like you tell it wasn't necessarily an accident, but it wasn't bad where it was just like all around like, okay, that's too much that you're doing out here. Kind of like for a minute it did sort of look like real and like real, like like when you bite, like how I said, like biting the lip thing, whatever. But her mouth wasn't. It was really up in here, depending on what some of the shots. Because some of the shots showed like like he got her, like she got him. But then then it was like here, and it was like, oh, okay. But anyway, nice that touch. I'm glad they made Nia Jax win that one. One stays dominant. In preparation for fighting Rhea. Also, I think it could keep the story going, where it is not one and done, it's over. Becky got her leg back. She pretty, but this way, like she loses and Nia and like the whole like thing of like making her and all that other stuff gets to keep going. I was like, Becky just now she has something to do for a while because she said that she can't beat her, she got to destroy her. So there's that thing. So I was like, you get more out this story especially that like like they try to build it up for the 5 years and all that other stuff. So that's why I'm glad like it kept on going with this. Um, let's see. I was like, I'll say Miz TV with Arch, like with like if it's gonna be Judgment Day, it'd have been like, oh, it's okay. But R-Truth, great. I was like the whole segment is funny. And, some people will probably say like, oh, it makes Judgment Day look a certain type of way or whatever, but whatever. I don't care. I fully enjoyed it. I was like Dom getting booed out of every damn thing. I was like Jada, like it's also with their two characters, so it's not with their main ones necessarily. So they're already in that role. But R-Truth, not knowing what team he on because he's on Judgment Day's team, but he don't like JD, so him playing back and forth and and I was like, great, funny. I like that type of stuff. I mean, I like anything that's funny anyway, but I'm always down with that. Um, I was like, with the whole Jay and Kofi, I was like, I didn't want to know, like, is Xavier like on break or something? I don't know. I was like, I know he'd be doing side stuff, but that's besides the point. Uh, I was like, I'm gonna get to it, but Ivy now followed Rhea Ripley, really good match. There were some botches in here, but me, I don't mind botches when I feel like it's in the flow of things. And by that I mean like there's certain botches where it's like, ooh, like that, like there ain't nothing. Like the Nia Jax Becky Lynch one had a botch a little bit where she's supposed to power bomb Becky, but she fell first and then power bombed her in a way. And it didn't hit the way it needed to. So that was like a botch where it's like, that was it. That was like, it wasn't bad, but it was just like, no, it was noticeable. The one with Ivy now, like they were noticeable. Like there was one where like she tried to flip over. She bounced off the rope to flip over her too early, and then there was like another one where I was like Rhea flipped her over and she didn't fully land. But I don't mind those because to me it makes it look more realistic. Like it's not like like when they're doing like crazy stuff or whatever like that. That's like, of course, this is like amazing stuff. You could tell like the whole thing. Then I'm like, that's where it's like, ooh, it didn't connect. It didn't go as planned. It didn't move. It wasn't fluid. But when it just looks like you're fighting and you're just like trying to escape or you're trying to do something and you're just like, it is like, I just need to like do quick reaction or something like that. I like those kind of bots. And also with Ivy being like new here and young and all this other stuff, I think to me it adds to the match that it's like you're not ready for this versus somebody like Rhea. But match in the spots was good. I was like they were doing the whole like muscle woman battling for like the spots, and even though Rhea's like 3 feet taller than Ivy was holding her own as like we strength with the strikes. I was like being able to pick her up and stuff like that. I was like, so she was able to counter Rhea in a lot of ways that I feel like it's different, kind of like, because Ivy's younger than this. I mean, they're both young, but you know what I'm saying. Then like Zoe Stark, because Zoe Stark's more so with just being like badass and having toughness of like, like that intensity. Whereas like Ivy actually is like is what it's weird to say, but more skillful in it than just being like you gonna have to knock me the hell out in order to beat me kind of thing. But I was like Ivy tried to jump, do like a crossbody from the top. Rhea headbutted her, took her out, and then just did a riptide, and it was pretty much a wrap after that. And yeah, but I could see this being something else a little bit more again, like later down the road, because it was actually a tough fight, even though Rhea came out on top of it. Got Cody Rhodes talking to Shinsuke again, and I was like, it was really not about too much or whatever. Just hoping that when they do have the match, I would like it if Cody loses. That's just my own personal thing. Like I don't like. Are they supposed to next week? But that doesn't mean that they're gonna have a match. It could just be something. But anyway, a lot. I was like other matches here. I just want to get to the main thing I want to talk about: Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Now, I wanted Drew to win. I thought that would have been great. That if on day one they just had Seth lose. I think that would also set up a really good story, going into the Mania season and stuff like that. But they didn't. And the ending of it, if they were going to do that, irks me. So, I was like, it was a good match. I was like, it was better. I was like, just as good as the last match. I was like, good performance, all this other stuff. Towards the end, Damian Priest's music hit. Briefcase. Now I'm like, okay, cool. I'm also fine if they do this. Something crazy of like, keep Drew protected while also having Seth lose the title. Day one, Damian has it. And unlike Drew, if Damian was a little bit of a transitional champion, I don't think people would have a problem with that. Because in my mind, I was like, Drew could win the championship. Did a rematch of the Royal Rumble. Maybe he loses it there. Or Elimination Chamber. I was like, maybe Elimination Chamber. He holds it for like a good solid 2 months. About time. I forget when Elimination Chamber is. But I'm pretty sure it'll be about 2 months by then. And then he falters and loses the championship when he could have had it for what he wants in the main, WrestleMania amongst all the people. And that could be to a story. I was like, but also too, he did get the championship, that kind of thing. Especially when he making it like, I will do anything. I will do anything for you. But yeah, so that was my thing. So I'm like, but if Damian Priest won it and say he lost at Royal Rumble, or Eliminate Chamber, I don't feel like people would be up in arms as much as Drew, because Drew been wanting this, and the way that he's shooting his promos and all this other stuff and being angry, and it just seemed like he's up there, that it's like, okay, after losing to Roman and losing last time, and where like Damian, it's like he cashed in, he won the championship. It might not be the reign needed or the length that you will like, but he did accomplish the goal of cashing the Money in the Bank, becoming a heavyweight champion, holding it for a decent amount of time. Now you're in that space. Now you're in that space more. If you did it like Austin Theory or Baron Corbin, yes, you look like an idiot or a dummy, or you ain't get to that spot again. But if Damian wins it, you will sort of have that moniker on you for a while and whatever. And then even if Judgment Day splits or whatever, he still will be good. It still will be in there. So that's why I said he wouldn't be that bad of a transitional champion. Where it's like, if Drew the transitional champion, people be like, see how they treat him, see how they do him, all that other stuff. Anyway, so towards the end of the match, I was like ranting. Toward the end of the match, I was like, that's a tangent. Here's a rant. Damian Priest comes out to do his whole championship thing. I was like, Seth is over here just like, oh no. Which causes, pretty much Claymore or whatever. I was like, Seth gets the Claymore. Drew rolls him up. And his foot is on the rope. I was like, oh, that's cool, that's clever, I like that. And so then it's like the whole, Priest got the briefcase, Dom's out there, sort of mess a little bit of the detail, but you go get where I'm going. So as he's trying to cash in, Drew sees him, and Claymore's I was like, Seth, my bad. Seth tries to dive at Priest hits him with the briefcase, and that causes the whole thing. Then outside, he talks to the refs trying to get the briefcase. Drew claymores him, and that's why I'm thinking like, oh, okay, cool. Whatever, how it's gonna go. Maybe Damien doesn't cash in, but it gives Drew the whole thing, and that's where he pins him. The whole rope thing happened. Drew loses it, takes him outside, cleared off the table, and it just started not. That's when it started getting too convoluted because you could hear Wade Barrett being like, "Drew, stop! You still have it in the bag. Just go and focus." Which is sort of like, yeah, you just gave him a claymore, and because his foot was on there, I was like, just give him another damn claymore. Throw it out against the rope, give him another claymore, something like that. All right, cool. But they're gonna take it. He goes out to the announce table. Don't know what the hell he's gonna do, but he's gonna do something on the announcer's table. He gets up there, look, okay, might be a power bomb or whatever. Cool. That didn't happen. Seth basically gets flipped over. I mean, he flips over Drew back, and then he just pedigrees Drew onto the table. Then he throws Drew back in the ring. Now, granted, this is also his whole back been a little bit wonky. I was like, he throws Drew back in the ring. Then he curb stomps Drew. And that's it. Then, as Seth got the wins the match, grabbed the briefcase, you also just see Damien just on the outside, holding his chin after that claymore. Dom also got suplexed, so there he's holding his back. He's holding his back more than himself. And that's it. He didn't move in to cash in. He didn't try to take advantage. Nothing. So, what is my beef? My beef pretty much is, okay, cool. Seth won. Alright, Seth won. They once again sort of made Damien look stupid. Not only because he did cash it in and got Claymore, but then he doesn't cash it in, he just stays there. Then also they don't protect Drew. And cool that you might have Drew spiral out of being like still angry about not winning or whatever. Which I felt like you could have done a different way. But the way it was where it's like, okay, so Seth got hit with the briefcase. Claymore. He pretty much was out. Drew takes him outside. And Seth just Hogan's that thing. Pedigrees him out there. Throw them in the ring with no problem. Curb stomps him. And that's it. Like, Seth could at least did another curb stomp just to be like, oh, I need to have one for sure. Nope. I'm like, oh, it's like, okay. Damien could have got mad and maybe made it, DQ'd it. And, that way Drew doesn't lose, but, I mean, he doesn't win, but he doesn't lose. Where you thinking like, oh, Damien might set it up for. All I'm saying is that Seth's wins have been just with the Shinsuke when they had the last man standing match, and that was just, oh, he just won like that? Okay. Cool. That's how this one was, where it's like, he just won like that? Okay, cool. Like, okay. Awesome. And I don't think that helped Seth in this kind of, we all probably thought that he was going to probably keep it to WrestleMania. Then CM Punk show, so now it's a lot more of a guarantee that he keeps it to WrestleMania. But I'm like, say he lost it. I felt like that would be an more intriguing story with him and Seth. Because I think you do the match without the title, but if you want to have the title, I think that it has the title. But I think it could enhance it, especially if CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble. Then it would enhance it because it's like, that beef would be a little bit more different because you ain't got the title. So I guess you faltered on that part of your commitment. So hey, I just thought that the ending could have been better, and it was a mixed bag for me, and not in a good way. Yeah, that I was like, yeah, that was my rant, that was my gripe. Uh, I was like, yeah, I just wanted to skim through enough of day one stuff to really just get to that point, because I was like, that's where other than that match of like the women's tag team, this is the other 7% that I just didn't do it for me. Anyway, what do y'all think? How are y'all feeling about Seth? How y'all feeling about Drew? How y'all feeling about Damian Priest? How are y'all feeling about all of this? Or how are y'all feeling about how that way that match ended? Or anything in general with the people involved in this or the way it ends and all this other stuff. Anyway, I guess down since day one. This how I was like, and we'll see how the rest of the year goes. No, I was like, doesn't need to talk about the Jinder Mahal and the Rock thing. I was like, that's a little bit of its own self. Jinder Mahal went to a whole thing. I will say this. Not with the Rock part. The Jinder Mahal thing. I do like that how they did that where he came out and then what he did and what he said. And it was, I thought, a little bit much with the whole foreign guy and you're not liking me because of that stuff. But I do like him being this type of Jinder Mahal and not necessarily coming out necessarily against America, because that could be a little tricky, especially nowadays. But the use of being divided and like that stuff and using social media, I think if he could do that while like being a villain, but sort of like being like, yeah, but this is how y'all really are, kind of thing. The way he was, I was like, that guy can be the main, like in the main event picture that I guess everybody had a problem with when he was there. When he was there, I was like, I feel like that guy could work in one of these Triple H. You might be able to brand it better and make him actually seem like a threat. That's all I'll say on it. But anyway, you like my video, appreciate it. What do you think about the Jinder Mahal thing or what I said earlier? I was like, I'm willing to hear it all out. Anyway, until next wrestling story, I will see y'all another time.